But if fuel prices get to $3 a litre, businesses are going to start parking up. And that's plain and simple. Transport operators, whether or not, maybe even trains, I don't know nothing about that field, but businesses will start parking up because $3 a litre is ridiculous, and we will not be able to sustain, well, most businesses will not be able to sustain and absorb that cost, regardless of whether or not you're small, you're an owner driver, small fleet operation, or you're a large business. Plain and simple, a lot of people won't be able to absorb that cost. And you, consumers, aren't going to be able to afford to pay the amount that it costs to get that job done. Plain and simple. People just won't pay for it. So there's just a little bit of a flow-on effect for you. It's about $500 a day on average for companies, right? Extra per truck on average. That's across the board. That's from road trains to rigids. $500 on average, right? But what a lot of people don't realise is our government taxes us 18% on that fuel. At the Bowser, there's an 18% fuel tax at the Bowser. So the government is making $18 million out of that $100 million, right, on that $500 a day average. That's how much the government's making daily on a 200,000 truck average. So if there's 300,000, 400,000, 500, if there's 500,000 trucks, whatever it may be, right, you do the math on that. But that's your average. Now, Chris Bowen, right, telling people that our reserves, send us the receipts, send us information from these people that are telling you that we still have 25% fuel reserves in this country. Tell us that. Because at the end of the day, if we do, we should not be buying a shitload of fuel. These fuel companies shouldn't be upping their fuel prices, right? Let us also know when the next ships are coming in. Predicted time frame. We need to know. As transport operators, we need to be looking at 3 to 4 weeks into the future. Because at the moment, we're predicting it to be $3. People aren't going to operate at $3 a litre for diesel. We can't. A lot of companies are going to start parking up, and this country's going to shut down. Right? Farmers aren't getting their fuel. Farmers can't get and pay for the price, absorbing the cost. It's a flow-on effect. They're getting charged now, and at the end of the year when it comes harvest time for their winter crops, right, they're not going to get paid an extra $100, $200 a tonne for their product, right? So they're absorbing costs as well. So farmers, transport operations are all absorbing costs at the moment, right? But Chris Bowen, the transport minister, whatever your name is, love, where have you been? You guys have got to stop, and this is not about Labor, Liberal, One Nation, none of that bullshit, right? You guys have got to stop pointing the finger saying, oh, Angus Taylor back when he was, who gives a fuck? The problem's here, the problem's now. Stop pointing fingers to what used to fucking be, right? If the government hasn't already spoken to oil companies and say, hey, can you get these refineries back up and going, right? How long is it going to take? How much it's going to cost? And start using our fuel taxes to fund that so we get cheaper fucking fuel here so the country can run at a cheaper rate, right? You talk about inflation. Everything costs a lot more money. Inflation's going to go through the fucking roof, and people are going to go broke. People are going to start losing everything that they've got just because of fuel. The government needs to understand that if they're not 100% on their words and they're not accurate in what they're saying, people are going to be like, fuck you. There's no trust in the government at the moment. That's why people are stockpiling fuel, because no one trusts a word that comes out of any parliament or any political person's mouth. Plain and simple, right? So I'd really appreciate if you guys got rid of your 18% fuel tax, even if it's just for trucks, right? So we can run our businesses, we can still make money and still keep this country fucking moving. And trains. Same as trains. Trucks and trains, get rid of that 18% tax. Tell the people at the Bowsers, the BPs, the Caltex, no, if it's filling up a truck, right, don't charge them the 18%. Take it off, and then we'll refund you it if that's what happens. But taking 18% in this time at the moment, you need to get rid of it. Transport operators, we need to come together at the moment. Right? We need to stop fighting each other on rates. We need to work out what rates are sustainable for everybody. Not just big companies, everybody. It's probably the only time that the industry has an opportunity of coming together. Right? But consumers as well, please stop bulk buying diesel if you don't own a truck or if you don't own farm machinery that you need to operate. If you're a hobby farmer and you don't need to operate your machinery, don't buy fucking extra diesel. Plain and simple. To the government, sort your fucking shit out. Plain and it's not hard to do. Stop pointing the finger at everybody. Stop laughing at everybody at Parliament when you're having these fucking Parliament days. Solve the fucking problems. And the problems of today is the fuel situation. That's dire straight at the moment. Because if we don't get that under control, this country will be fucked.